I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
This isn't just a normal sports story. It's a clear warning that arrogance, poor leadership, and one big mistake can destroy a whole team or organization before it ever gets the chance to succeed.
Never seen a company fumble the bag so hard like the WNBA fumbled Caitlin Clark. It sucks that so much of it was riddled with so much drama and so much negativity.
The WNBA had the perfect chance in its hands, a once-in-a-generation star who wasn't just great on the court, but also a cultural icon. Caitlin Clark wasn't only scoring points, she was a movement, a brand, and a phenomenon who brought millions of new fans to women's basketball almost overnight. For a league that had been fighting for mainstream recognition for nearly 30 years, this should have been their big breakthrough, their moment of validation. Instead of treating her as the superstar who could change the sport's future, they treated her like she didn't matter. That mistake might leave damage that lasts for decades. What started as a dream story has now turned into a battle. And Caitlin isn't fighting with words or social media posts, she's using leverage. She's showing the league's failures where it hurts most, in the business world. Billionaire investors, rival leagues, and even celebrities outside of sports all see what the WNBA refuses to admit: Caitlin Clark is bigger than the league itself. So how did it all go wrong? How did the WNBA mishandle its most exciting player so badly that her first 2 seasons became stories of betrayal instead of triumph? Once you look at the numbers, the disrespect, and the outside offers coming her way, it's clear this wasn't just bad management, it was a disaster. From the moment Clark lit up college defenses, she wasn't just breaking records, she was changing the way people viewed women's sports. Ratings went up, highlights spread everywhere, and kids across the country copied her style. By draft night, she was already larger than life. Her arrival wasn't just another rookie debut, it was the chance to pull the entire sport into the mainstream. The results were instant. Tickets sold out in hours, prices soared, arenas filled up, TV ratings hit record highs, and merchandise sales exploded. Even casual fans who never watched the WNBA before tuned in just for her. She made the league relevant in a way that years of marketing never could. This should have been the start of a golden era. But while Clark gave the WNBA everything it could have dreamed of, the league responded with disrespect, an unforgivable mistake that could haunt it forever.
In the W, we pride ourselves on having a super welcoming,
don't get stoned,
calm, low-stakes environment.
Boston will hoist.
She hit it!
Where communication is highly valued.
Well, it's getting chippy.
Collaboration is always encouraged.
Oh, what a pick!
We are devoted to working extra hard. We've been delivering astounding results since 1997.
Back to back.
Because this is a place where basketball matters.
Beautiful pass and a good catch and finish. Big time!
And if you love
Oh, Enrique!
real Thomas with the spin move basketball.
Unforgettable finish!
Welcome to the W.
The numbers tell the story of just how badly Caitlin Clark was treated. Her arrival didn't just boost Indiana Fever's attendance, it shattered records. By season's end, more than 200,000 fans had come to their games, the most any team in league history had ever drawn. That's not growth, that's a revolution. National TV ratings jumped 21%, merchandise sales exploded, and every arena she played in was packed. Clark became the engine that kept the whole WNBA running, and she did it as a rookie, still years away from her prime. For nearly 30 years, the league tried everything to get this kind of attention and failed. Clark made it happen instantly. She was the golden goose, yet the league rewarded her with one of the smallest rookie contracts imaginable. 4 years, just $338,000 total, about $85,000 per year. That's less than what many assistants in men's basketball earn and a fraction of what she was worth. To make it worse, the top NBA rookie signs a deal worth around $55 million over 4 years. The difference? Clark was paid 162 times less. That's not just unfair, it's humiliating. It sent a loud message: the league didn't truly value her. And once that disrespect was clear in her paycheck, It spilled over onto the court, where opponents treated her like she wasn't special, just another rookie.
Try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they gotta be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they gotta be drama because they're jealous.
Almost right away, Caitlin Clark became a target. Opponents saw her small paycheck, the lack of protection, and the league's silence, and they took advantage. Game after game, she was hit with hard checks, shoved in midair, and roughed up off the ball not as defense, but as a way to wear her down. These weren't normal fouls, they were cheap shots meant to test how much she could take. And what did the referees do? Nothing. They ignored it. The league office looked the other way too. They had no problem filling arenas with her name or putting her face on every advertisement, but when it came to protecting the player keeping their league alive, they turned their backs.
You have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittany Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittany Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittany Griner says, white girl.
The breaking point came during an ugly moment fans still talk about. Cameras seemed to catch Brittany Griner saying something inappropriate to Caitlin Clark during a game, and the clip spread everywhere. Fans were outraged, lip readers debated what was said, but the league stayed silent, no investigation, no fine, no suspension. The message was obvious. Clark was on her own. That silence was dangerous, because when referees won't protect and the league won't punish, opponents feel free to go harder, shove rougher, and foul dirtier. The WNBA sent its biggest star into battle with no protection, and everyone knew it. You can deal with a bad contract. You can take being disrespected. But when every game turns into open season on your body, eventually it breaks down. For Clark, that moment came on September 5, 2025, when she was ruled out for the season with a right groin injury. Headlines called it bad luck, but let's be honest, it wasn't random. It was the cost of months of neglect. The WNBA's failure to protect Caitlin Clark had finally caught up to them, and it cost them everything.
Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
Think about everything Caitlin Clark went through in her first 2 seasons, the hip checks meant to hurt, the elbows in crowded lanes, the shoves while she was in midair, and the sneaky hits to her ribs and hips when the refs weren't looking. Night after night, the punishment added up, and the officials ignored it while the league stayed silent. Her body finally broke, not because she was weak, but because the system built to protect her failed. This injury wasn't bad luck, it was the predictable result of negligence. And when it happened, the WNBA didn't just lose its brightest star, it showed the world it couldn't even protect the player who saved them from irrelevance. But that's when the story flipped. While Clark sat sidelined, recovering from the damage the league allowed, powerful outsiders were watching. Rival leagues, investors, and billionaires saw the WNBA's biggest asset being left to suffer, and unlike the league, they understood her true value. They weren't vultures looking to pick her apart, they were visionaries ready to offer her what the WNBA never would: respect, protection, and money that matched her worth. Ironically, what looked like Clark's lowest point became her greatest source of power. The league thought her rookie contract trapped her, but the injury exposed them instead. Suddenly, she had leverage, and new doors swung wide open. The first came from Unrivaled, a new 3-on-3 league founded by Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, with Gino Auriemma closely tied to its vision. Unlike the WNBA, Unrivaled didn't see Clark as a cost to manage, they saw her as the foundation to build around. Their offer proved it: more than $1 million a year plus something even more valuable, an ownership stake. This wasn't just a salary, it was legacy. It was power. For the first time, Caitlin Clark wasn't treated like just another rookie, she was treated like a partner who could shape the future of the sport.
And everybody talking about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
That offer alone was already more respect than the WNBA had shown Caitlin Clark since her very first day. The brilliance of Unrivaled's proposal wasn't just the $1 million salary, it was the message: you're not just a player, we see you as the future. It proved what fans had been shouting all season. Clark wasn't just another star. She was the league. And if the WNBA refused to treat her that way, someone else would, but that was only the beginning. The real shock came from outside the basketball world, from Ice Cube. At first, his interest sounded like a rumor. People laughed at the idea that his Big Three league would pay Clark millions for a short-term deal. But then the official number came out, and it stunned everyone: $15 million. Not for 4 years, not for a full WNBA grind, but for just 10 weeks of basketball. Compare that to Clark's rookie contract, 4 years, $338,000 total, about $85,000 per year. Ice Cube was offering nearly 50 times more money for a fraction of the work. It wasn't just an offer. It was a public humiliation for the WNBA. A rapper-turned-businessman had just valued Clark more accurately than the very league that relied on her to survive. That $15 million figure didn't just blow up the market, it changed the power dynamic forever. Overnight, Clark wasn't a 6-figure player or even a 7-figure player. She was an 8-figure superstar. And the best part? She didn't need the WNBA's permission to prove it. Ice Cube validated her in a way the league never did. He told the world, "You're right, she really is worth everything." That validation was more powerful than the money itself, because now the WNBA couldn't escape it. Every press conference, every sponsor meeting, every call with investors, $15 million hangs over them like a storm cloud. With that single move, Caitlin Clark gained what no WNBA player had ever truly held before: leverage. Leverage to demand protection. Leverage to demand respect. Leverage to negotiate not just her salary, but her role in shaping the future of the sport. And that's the league's nightmare. Because once a player realizes she doesn't need the league anymore, the league loses control. The WNBA thought it owned Caitlin Clark. The truth: she now owns the future of women's basketball. This was never just about basketball. It was about vision. About respect. About how the WNBA had the key to its own salvation and dropped it straight down the drain. Clark gave them everything: ratings, ticket sales, packed arenas, and cultural relevance, and in return, they gave her a rookie contract that insulted her: silence when referees swallowed their whistles, indifference when games turned into brawls, and no action when hateful slurs were hurled her way. They didn't just undervalue her, they betrayed her. And now, the price is coming due. Clark's revenge isn't about trash talk or cryptic tweets. It isn't even about points on the scoreboard. Her revenge is leverage. Rival leagues with millions. Ownership stakes. Real respect. Ice Cube's $15 million bombshell didn't just expose the WNBA, it flipped the balance of power. The league thought Clark needed them. The truth is, they need her. For the first time ever, a single player controls the fate of an entire league. So here's the question: when her contract ends, does Caitlin Clark stay with the league that disrespected her, or does she walk away, taking her millions of fans, her money, and her influence somewhere else? The WNBA had its chance. They had their savior. And they blew it. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA to cement her legacy. But the WNBA? They may have just lost their future.